It's no surprise that my passion and love for technology has waned over the years and slowly turned to anger and hatred towards it. This channel originally started off as me reviewing old technology, old Apple tech, old whatever it may be, and it has slowly turned into a stop using your devices channel, which is just what it is. That's how I feel. I'm not going to change it. I don't make enough money off this to lie about what I actually think. And to be fair, it's not the iPhone's fault. It's not Apple's fault that our kids are being raised by screens. It's our fault. It's a decision that we collectively as a society have decided. I couldn't tell you the number of times that I've seen kids at the store in a shopping cart with either their parents' iPhone, their own iPhone, or their own iPad. Why do these kids have these devices? I don't understand. As a parent myself, I have no idea how anybody can make that decision. So you know what? The internet is crazy. There's nothing but badness on there. Good luck. Here's a tablet. That's insane. But I digress. And instead of spending time with our family and friends playing a board game, talking, chatting, reading, challenging each other on ideas, what we've done is just replace that time with time on your phone, whether it be texting, phone calls, going on Twitter, going on Facebook, going on Reddit, going on TikTok, all of these things, going on YouTube. All these things are bad for you. So stop going on those. But I want to talk about how we, the consumer, can potentially change the course of, I guess, the country, the world, and the way we use technology in a more positive way, at least for yourself. Some people are beyond saving because they don't want to be saved, but you clicked on this video, so I imagine that you are somewhat interested in how to curb your technology usage and how to effectively use technology in 2023 and beyond. Because I said this a million times, the internet is the best tool. It's the printing press and the big universities, the old gatekeepers. That's the old Catholic Church. The Protestant Reformation it was caused by the printing press and was popularized by the printing press. And basically the internet has toppled the old guard of whether it be music studios, big networks. I could never talk to you like this unless I was on Fox, a CNN, ABC. This form of communication was never possible until about 15 years ago, which is really remarkable. So we can understand that the internet is the ultimate invention. It's the peak of humanity. I don't know what's going to top it, but right now the internet is definitely the best thing we've ever invented. And I think it's had a bigger impact than anything else that's ever been invented, whether that be the printing press, the wheel, fire, whatever it may be. I think the internet, the way it has exchanged data and ideas at instantaneous speeds, is unbelievably remarkable and something we should cherish and something we should appreciate, but something we're going to have to learn to live within. I also understand that my job and probably your job, or if you're in school, your schoolwork, there's so many things that need to be done on technology. I'm on a computer for 8 hours a day at my job because I have to be. That is the nature of my job, my career. That's what I have to do. Unfortunately, I can't get around it, but it's not all bad if you can understand what you're doing. Right now, I'm talking to 10,000 people, and this was never possible, as previously mentioned. There are other creators. I've never listened to his music, but I'm pretty sure Russ, I think that guy's kind of a meme, but Russ is one of these guys who doesn't get promoted by a label. He did it all himself. And whether you like his music or not, you can appreciate the fact that he went beyond the label, beyond the little black room or dark room at the top of a really tall tower at the music studio where just a handful of people decide who's going to be the next talent, who's going to be the next big thing. These people have not lost all of their power, but a lot of power has been stripped away from them. You could see them trying to grasp it back, but it's awesome that it's been stripped away because we, the consumer, get to decide now. We get to decide whose videos we get to watch, whose music we get to listen to, and whose content we get to enjoy. Woodworking is not just something that can be done by a carpenter's son. It can be done by anybody. You can go on YouTube and learn how to do anything with woodworking. I can message a doctor. In America, we have this thing where we can message doctors. That's insane. I can message a doctor. I don't have to go in, get checked up. I can say, hey, this is feeling like this. Should I worry about that? And oftentimes they'll say, no, it's not a big deal. You probably have this. If you want to come in, we could check it out, but it's probably nothing to worry about. And that is really remarkable. That's a really powerful tool. Basically, everything is better, but obviously the world isn't necessarily in a better place than it was 15, 20 years ago before the invention and popularization of the internet. Loneliness, depression, these are things that are all on the rise. And it's no surprise that along coinciding with those things is the popularization of smartphones, the way we communicate with each other has changed. It's not face-to-face anymore. It's not shaking somebody's hand and talking to them face-to-face. The last 2 years, we were all masked up. You couldn't even see people's lips, or actually almost 3 years now. So you couldn't even see people's lips when they talk, which is a way to understand people. So the way that we've communicated has been altered. It used to be one way, and now it's 57 different ways. You can FaceTime, you can text, you can call, you can send an email, and you can send a message. Like there are just so many different ways to communicate. Snapchat is you send a single picture, you could send a 10-second video, you could send a 4-second video. The ways that we communicate are much different than how we used to communicate. And with the change of that, we haven't really adopted ourselves to how that affects us. And this is not a question that can be answered. Why are all these things on the rise over the last 15 years? And how do you fix it? That's not really meant for this video. But here's what you can do, and here's the things that I've done as a 27-year-old male that can help you. I'm speaking basically to young men. That's the only people who watch these videos. If you're an older guy, I'm sorry, you're too old. I'm just joking. You're too old to watch these videos. No, but seriously, this is who I talk to. It's like 95% of the people who watch these videos are young men. So that's who I'm going to communicate this to, because that's what I am, and that's what I know the best. I've been thinking about this for the last week or two. I didn't know exactly which video to make after my most recent video, and I've had this idea kicking around, and I've been slowly adding to it over the last couple weeks. So I think my thoughts are pretty well fleshed out. I'm sure I'll have things to add in the future, but here's what I would do to navigate the internet in 2023. The first one is probably not very obvious to a lot of people, but it's to get married. Get married to somebody who holds the same values as you, somebody who you love spending time with. Love, from what I've experienced, I've been with my wife for 7 years now, 3 years being married almost in a week or two, I think, right? Yeah, it's like 3 weeks. I should know that better. It's a little bit more than 3 weeks. But anyway, so what I've learned being with her is that it's really tough. It's not like the stories. It's not how Disney made it seem like when you were a kid, like Beauty and the Beast, where, they'll be mean sometimes, but then everything is just a fairy tale ending and the next 50 years go swimmingly. That's not how it is. It's going to be hard sometimes. But understanding that getting married and being with a woman, especially a woman like my wife for me, who can challenge me and motivate me and push me in ways that I can't do myself, because she knows me differently than I know myself, which is really great, because it's nice being able to be challenged and say, Scott, like, you're better than that. You know you could do better than that. And that has been really positive for me. So I would say find a woman with the same values as you who wants to work towards building a family, and have kids with her. If you're a man or if you're a girl, have kids with him, because having kids is awesome. I have a child. I am a father. It is the most amazing, incredible thing ever. And the way I look at parenting and the way I look at living now is be the person your kid thinks you are, because your kid really respects you. They love you more than anything. They think you're literally just the best. And I know I'm not the best, but why not strive to be the person that my kid thinks that I am? So that's how I try to operate when I'm rolling around with her in the basement, crawling with her. What I try to do is I make sure I'm just in the moment. I set the phone down. I'll set the phone down away from where I'm at. I'll put the phone in my case, if we're in the basement, I'll put the phone in my office, and I'll step out, go into the other room, go into the other big part of the basement where I can roll around with her in there. That is what I do. It really works for me. I love having kids. I think it's really fun, really rewarding. I think more people should have kids because it adds a certain value to your life that nothing else, in my opinion, can. I've had dogs. I have 2 dogs and a cat, and everybody calls, like my dogs are like my babies and my kids, but they're really not. Speaking from experience, the value of having a kid versus a dog is far superior to having a kid, because a kid looks like you. A kid is a human being that will create great things and will hopefully change the world in remarkable ways. And you could be a part of raising that kid. Whereas a dog just poops in the floor in the house. I like dogs. The dogs are great, but they're no replacement for kids. I really suggest, if you're a young man who thinks you don't want to have kids, you should reconsider. Maybe you haven't found the right woman yet, and I definitely understand that. 5 years ago, even when I was dating my wife, I never thought I was gonna have kids, and I was 26 when I had my first kid. So what the heck did I know? The next thing is to delete social media. I've talked about this 1,000 times. Just delete the apps. That's the easiest way to do it. Delete your account, delete the apps, get them off the phone. No temptations. Simple as that. Number 3 is working out. Spending 1 hour every single day, if you can, or a couple hours every single week on working out is remarkable, and it'll do a lot of remarkable things to you. There are a couple of things. One, it'll give you a lot of confidence. If you are single right now and you're afraid to approach women, for whatever reason, I know I felt like that probably 8-9 years ago. I was a lot heavier than I am now. I weigh like 183 right now at 5'10". Not perfect, but whatever. Skinny enough is what I say. And at the time, I was like 220 pounds. I'll show the picture here. And I was terrified of approaching women because I had no confidence in myself. It probably wasn't the fact that the women were way out of my league or whatever, but just the fact that I had no confidence in myself. Why would anybody want to date me? Blah, 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 blah. We've all thought these things before. And so what I would suggest doing is working out. That's what helped me. I lost a bunch of weight. I got in really good shape. And then I started dating my wife. And then 7 years later, I have the life that I really, really enjoy now. But it's a lot of hard work. Sometimes the relationship can be tough, but it's definitely worth it ultimately in the end. So make sure you're choosing to work out. Another incredible thing that'll happen is that you start to choose to better yourself. And I think that like a switch will flip in your brain where if you choose to better yourself in a really positive way, your body starts to act different. If you start working out, you start eating healthier foods because, oh, I worked out, and your brain will start to think, oh, well, I'm treating myself good. I'm treating myself positively. I should do other things well. So when I started working out, I was kind of lazy. I slept a lot. I ate like crap, but I started working out and I started eating better. I started doing more things. I started getting out. I started challenging my ideas a lot more. I was a much more rounded individual after that 6-month period where I went really hard, lost a bunch of weight. And I was less rounded as a person, but I was a much more well-rounded person, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever. And so I think that choosing to work out is a really powerful thing that we should all be doing more often. And it releases dopamine. It really is the best thing you could possibly do. It's really hard, but every single day that you work out, you get to say that you worked out, and it's a win. So you can sit down at night, even if you sit down and play video games for an hour at night or 2 hours at night, whatever that may be, so long as you worked out that day, you at least got one win. And when you get one win, you'll start stacking wins on top of each other, and you'll look back in 5 years and you'll think, wow, I'm so glad I started working out. I'm so glad this isn't that Scott guy on YouTube. He was right. I'm going to go leave a comment on this video and thank him for it because he deserves it. I don't deserve it. Thank you. I would like it, but I don't need it. The fourth thing is understanding that the internet is basically the most powerful drug that's ever been invented, but not all drugs are bad. The internet is constructed in a way where it's endlessly addictive. No matter where you go on the internet, it's been constructed in a way because all these companies are built to make money. It's been constructed in a way to keep you on it, whether that be internet-enabled games, Facebook, Reddit, you know my opinion on all those things. The internet is meant to be addictive. So finding content on the internet, if you might get a little addicted to it, I would say that's okay. Manage that, definitely manage that. But getting addicted to positive content is much better than getting addicted to brain-dead content that just makes you mad, sad, makes you lonely, those types of things. Stay away from those corners of the internet and find the small little pockets. I think these videos are little pockets on the internet that I hope are positive. So try and find people like me. I think that find more people than me. I don't know anything about anything. So I would really suggest finding more people than myself that talk similar to the way I talk and have similar ideas to me. But I really think that you, as an internet user, can benefit a lot from the internet if you manage the way you use the internet in an effective way. I think that's the important thing. And it's hard. It is really hard because there are so many addictive things pulling you one way or the other. You really got to learn to manage. You got to learn to manage your time that you spend on the internet. And finally, the fourth thing is just go outside. I say this all the time, but just go outside, go on a walk. The sun, vitamin D is a great thing for humans, especially young men. It boosts testosterone. It'll make you more excitable. It'll make you happier. It'll make you want to lift heavy things. It'll make you generally a better person if you just go outside. The sunlight is so good for you. I don't fully understand how a star that is 92-ish million miles away from us can provide so much benefit, but I know from personal experience, the more I stay in the basement, the more I get away from windows, the more I stay inside, the less happy I am. So as a man especially, get outside, go for walks, just be in the sun. I know we have jobs, and I know sometimes it can be tough, but sometimes just choosing it and working later is something you might have to do just to get that sunlight. It's worth it, trust me. Please just go out in the sun, work by a window, do whatever you can to just get some extra sunlight because it's really good for you. Thank you for watching the video. I hope these help you in 2023 to manage your internet usage a lot better. Let me know your thoughts on everything I said. If you have any other tips and tricks, I would love to hear them. I really appreciate you watching the video and sticking through the video. Now go outside and go for a walk. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.